Chelsea beat Wrexham 5-0 and all of a sudden everybody's over the moon. We've got the chatting breeze about the game, the good, the bad and the downright ugly. But before we get on with that, Omari Hutchinson looks like he's gone on loan. He deserves it. We'll see a good side of him. We'll break that down. And finally, Romelu Lukaku. The grass isn't always greener, my friend, and you're finding out the hard way. It looks like Juventus no longer interested in him and we have no idea what's going to happen next. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Kavkas View. In today's video, we are going to be breaking down the game against Wrexham. But before we get to that, I think it's important we cover the news regarding Romelu Lukaku and Omari Hutchinson. One good news, one bad news, and then we get into the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. I'm going to tell you right now, there was nothing ugly about last night. We can't be overly critical about a pre-season game. I think at this moment in time, it was all about fitness and positives and some improvements to take away. No one's getting ruled out. I won't be too hard on anyone, but I am going to be honest and open. And there are some things I'm going to say about yesterday's game that some of you are not going to enjoy, so make sure you stay tuned because I think you're going to get upset. But before we move on to that, hit the like button. I want 1,000 likes on this video. Subscribe because we are creeping, but we're slowly getting up to 28.5. Can we hurry up and do that, please? Because I kind of want to hit 29k ASAP. It will be very good to do it by the end of the month. I hope you guys can help me with that. Now, let's move on with this story. Story number one revolves around a certain Mr. Romelu Lukaku. So we're starting to understand that Romelu Lukaku has played himself. Not only has he played himself, he's played the situation that he has overly arrogantly, I would say, because I think Romelu Lukaku just assumed that he was going to get a free ticket back to Inter Milan. Chelsea dug their heels in and said, no, not a chance are you going back to Inter Milan on the same terms and conditions that you went last year. Yes, we understand you took a pay cut, but 7 million is not going to let you go there. So at this moment in time, Chelsea dug their heels in. Inter are about to pay 40 million euros until we realize they pull out. That's what has happened until this certain point. The reason they pulled out is because they found out that he has been talking to Juventus even prior to the night of the Champions League final. The ultras are offended. The ultras are basically saying, we've forgiven you once, we're not doing it again. And Lukaku was stuck in no man's land. It was either go to Juventus, but Juventus put out an ultimatum. If we don't sell Vlahovic by the 4th of August, then no, we don't want you. And today, we are starting to get reports from Italy, from Gazzetta dello Sport. And Gazzetta dello Sport is reiterating that Juventus aren't looking at Lukaku as a priority. Lukaku is literally left clubless. And I've said this yesterday on Twitter, and I'm going to say this again now on my channel. Don't be surprised if Romelu Lukaku ends up in Saudi Arabia. The reason being is, I think he's damaged the reputation he has in Inter Milan. The ultras are against him. And if you know anything about Italian football, their fans have a lot to say. Their fans are a lot more powerful than the individuals that we have at the clubs here. Our fans will kick up a fuss, but they won't rock up to your house and literally be rioting outside of it. Ask Mauro Icardi what happened. This is serious. And the fact that he's burned bridges with them not once but twice, I don't see them like accepting him. Juventus' fans, they've been rioting that they don't want him as well. Guys, I'm telling you, Saudi is not a possibility that Romelu Lukaku should be ruling out. Otherwise, he's going to be bench warming at Chelsea for a long, long time. After a very good season, Omari Hutchinson has now moved on to Ipswich. And Omari Hutchinson played very well at EPL 2 level. He was the standout individual last season. He was the one that was getting majority of the plaudits. He was a player that joined from Arsenal because he believed the pathway at Chelsea was better. Some would say that was a mistake. I would say it's turning out to seem like a mistake because Chelsea have acquired so many young talent that Omari Hutchinson has a lot of wingers ahead of him. The pathway is really congested, and at Arsenal, at least he would have had, in my opinion, a few less obstacles to go past. At this moment in time, there's just so many. So what's the next best thing? Well, he's got a loan for himself. He's got a loan. He's going to go on loan to Ipswich Town at League 1 level. He's going to try to have a great season, and Ian Maatson should be the example for everyone. Go out there, prove yourself. Maybe a championship loan, if you smash it enough, maybe a Premier League loan, and then reassess 12 months on. The reality is that we've got him on a long contract, he's earning a good salary, so he's in no rush to be moving on anywhere. The only thing he wants is to toughen up and get some game time. That's just my personal opinion. Now let's move on with the good and the bad. There's no downright ugly. I think a lot of you need to understand that this was a preseason game. I needed to reiterate this to myself on numerous occasions that this is a preseason game. We're not meant to get overly ecstatic. However, and this is the key, we are meant to get excited. We should be excited, because if you're not excited, then what's the point of watching these games? What's the point of analyzing these games? What's the point of you watching this video? The reality is, the first good goes to Maurizio Pochettino. I want to give a special thank you to Maurizio Pochettino, because in 2 weeks, Maurizio Pochettino has got these players fit, he's got these players in a good shape, and he's got these players actually moving the ball quickly. We're attacking with pace. We're attacking with some vim and some impetus. I respect it. I love it. It's something that I really enjoyed to see yesterday. There was a method to our madness, as I used to call it last year. No method to our madness last year. This year we had a method. And for me, I was very happy with Pochettino. There was one instance, right, where 2-0 up, we've got a counter-attack right on the edge of the first half, and the whistle goes when we've got a 3-on-1 break. Poch went mad. Poch literally went up to the ref, and I was like, my manager, I respect it. I want to see that fight. I want to see that tenacity. I loved it. Another person that really stole the show yesterday was Ian Maatsen. Ian Maatsen played 45 minutes, and in that 45 minutes, he got a brace. 2 decent finishes. Second one was phenomenal. First one was okay. Keeper, in my opinion, should have done better, but it came from Jackson getting the ball. We win the ball from Gusto, give it to Jackson. Jackson beats a man off the dribble, absolutely just releases it to Maatsen, and Maatsen strikes it. It looked like a good composed finish. The reality is he's not a left winger. He is a left back, but he showed how comfortable he is at coming inside into the midfield, making it an inverted fullback, and just absolutely dominating the middle of the park with his passing, his ability to receive the ball in tight areas. Looked very comfortable. I was actually very impressed. 2 players, in my opinion, that really shined were Santos and Quesadilla. I think I'm going to stop calling him Quesadilla because now he's on the first team. I'm going to start listening to what the commentators say, and we're going to start calling him the man by his name, because Quesadilla, I apologize about the pronunciation, was absolutely phenomenal. Engine, strength, really showed what he learned in the championship about just upper body strength and being able to ride a challenge. Brave with his passing, forward all the time, looking to receive the ball in a half turn and double pivot. Santos was doing a lot of talking, a lot of Jorginho pointing, more importantly receiving the ball, being brave, hard in a challenge. Both players done no damage to themselves. In my opinion, they're here to stay. We start looking at Carney Chukwuemeka. Carney got a very good assist for Ian Maatsen's second goal. What I really loved about Carney's performance was he gave balance to the midfield 3 in the first half. I thought him in the 10, Santos and Casadei all together just worked really well. It was a nice midfield balance, and when he came off, we lost that impetus. His ability to link up with Jackson was evident to see. A lot of people were a little bit negative about him. I saw a different game. I can't lie to you. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Chalobah and Bashir Humphreys, both of them were absolutely comfortable. Did not have much to do. The crosses kept on coming in through long throws, and they dealt with them accordingly. There was literally not too much for them to do. Anything that went over the top, dealt with it one-on-one. Very comfortable, very composed. Both looked like they could be very good 4th choice centre-backs, my personal opinion. At this moment in time, yes, the level isn't the level that they're going to be competing on a weekly basis, but I was very impressed, and you can only play against what you're put up against. We'll also need to look at Angelo. Angelo in the second half really impressed me. When we signed him, remember I said he came with a lot of potential, a lot of talent, but just it's been very untapped, and he's plateaued at Santos. Plateaued because he's been playing since the age of 16. He's 20 years old now. He's been picking up some strength. He's been picking up know-how. He's got some experience. But his ability to slow the tempo down and just be a creator rather than a direct threat and a runner off the ball is actually giving us some diversification in our wing. I really like it. It's exciting. He got a very nice, neat assist. He should have got a second assist if Raheem Sterling could header from 2 yards out, because in my opinion, that ball from Angelo where he picked him out was pinpoint and beautiful. Malo Gusto had a very solid first half where he was winning the ball high up, he was revealing the ball, he was confident in possession. Defensively, he didn't get tested, so I don't know. There was one mistake he did where he kept the ball in and the Wrexham player just took it and carried on. Sometimes let it go, bro. He'll learn from that. This is just a learning curve. Nkunku got his goal and he got an assist, which means overall he had a decent performance, but the overall link-up play, I don't like him in the 9. I'll tell you that now. I'm happy with the way he finished it. I'm happy with the way he linked up with others, but personally, he's not a 9 for me. He's a 10. and he needs to be playing there or even on the left-hand side personally as an inside forward. That's my opinions and that's my good. There's some bads, but I don't want to be overly critical, and I don't want anyone going with this and saying Alex wants these players sold. Under no circumstances am I saying that. I'm just trying to be objective and talk to you about the game yesterday. We won 5-0, so it is hard not to be positive. And for me, I thought Conor Gallagher's got a good goal, but apart from the goal, I was very disappointed by Conor Gallagher's ability in the double pivot. You look at what Caicedo, they and Santos did, and you look at the comfort they had in receiving the ball in that area and spraying it forward. I thought Conor really struggled. I thought his impetus on the game, and we really lost control in the first 15 minutes of the second half when we rejigged things. I thought he was an individual that's experienced and should be taking the game by the scruff of the neck. He didn't. He scored a good goal, so it'll mask over it. I personally think he needs to do better. He's better than that, in my opinion. Raheem Sterling, I think he had a good assist for the goal for Gallagher. However, I expect more from Raheem. I really do. And I'm not talking about the miss with the header from a few yards out. I mean the overall impact on the game and the overall picking up the ball and actually trying to do something. There was too much running off the ball, not enough getting involved in the play. So I don't like that. Furthermore, I think the two left backs, the experienced pros, did damage to their career. I think, yes, Ben Chilwell scored a goal, but I realized one thing that was very evident to see for everyone. Ben Chilwell's ability on the ball is nowhere near as good as Maatsen's, and it's on par with Cucurella, if not worse. I think he needs to ensure he regains that athleticism that made him special. I think overall, apart from contributing in shots and getting into the box, he's going to be someone that's under serious pressure if Maatsen stays around. I think Lewis Hall is going to keep him under pressure as well. That's just my personal opinion. Cucurella looked lost. In my opinion, he was the worst player on the pitch in the first half. In a performance where we dominated then at first half, he was very average, was beyond average in my opinion. Then we got Moreira, and Moreira's an interesting one because you can really tell his experience is at under 21 level. He looked a little bit physically flustered, positionally lost, and he was someone that needs a loan. He needs to go and play. I don't think he's ready for Chelsea. I don't think he's ready for first team football. And I saw this at the under 21 Euros. He doesn't start for Portugal. He's a bench player. And coming to Chelsea, getting nods, he didn't really impress me. I think he needs to go somewhere and play. He needs to go and develop the way Angelo did. Get some minutes, get some reps, and then come back because the talent is there. It's all about just getting the physicality right. But guys, this was the Kavkas View. This was a quick review. I didn't want to be overly critical. I hope you guys understand that it's the first game of many. We can't be too excited, but at the same time, we should be a little bit excited and positive. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts. Peace out. I'm out.